Congressman, are Democrats actually, good morning to you, are they actually plotting a re-impeachment? We want to have you listen to what Jerry Nadler said when he was asked about subpoenaing former National Security Advisor John Bolton.
I think it's likely, yes. I think when you have a lawless president, you have to bring that to the fore. You have to spotlight that.
All right, so Congressman, what do you think about impeachment potentially part 2?
Well, I think you've got to remember where this all started. Literally have people on Chairman Nadler's committee voting for impeachment before they even saw the charges, the accusations, literally voting multiple times on the House floor. Many of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle throughout this last 3 years for impeachment and talking about impeachment. So it really should come to no surprise to anybody that they're going to continue discussing impeachment and looking for some way to remove the president from office. They find him so objectionable and they're so disagreeable to his policies that they don't want to wait until the American people have spoken. They want to remove him from office as soon as possible and make sure that he doesn't even have an opportunity to be on the ballot or an opportunity for people to make their selection if President Trump is on the ballot.
Sir, you were at the National Prayer Breakfast this morning, a bipartisan event. This one, kind of a different tone, if you will, happened a day after the acquittal of President Trump. I kind of want to use your brain, if you could. Just paint a picture for us of the energy in that room when the president walked out and he made his remarks there. What was that like being in that prayer breakfast this morning?
Well, the president never really disappoints no matter what. You're not sure what you might get. Of course, it is the prayer breakfast. It's an opportunity to kind of let bygones be bygones and think about the higher power that takes care of us all and the reason we're all here on this earth. But it's pretty apparent that these wounds that have been inflicted upon the president, he has taken them personally, and that they're still very raw and they're very fresh. He did hold up the newspaper that said acquitted right on the front of it, so he wanted everybody to know that he sees that. And I think based on his remarks, he sees this as very damaging for the country, not just him or the presidency, but for the country. And I suspect all the things that we could be doing and should be doing instead pursuing this for political motives. And like I said, it's very clear that these wounds are very raw for the president, and he feels a great disservice has been done to the presidency and to the country.
The president is expected to speak more on the impeachment trial and his acquittal this afternoon. Do you think he'll be mentioning Mitt Romney? And if so, what do you think he has to say?
Well, I'm not sure if he's going to, you never know with the president, right? But I suspect what he would do is look towards the Constitution, which is very informative, and it's very prescriptive. It says treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. We don't use our opinions on these things. We look at the law, and when if no law was broken, and again, the articles of impeachment are very incongruent. They don't specify any law whatsoever, not to mention the fact that they really don't, the articles and the investigation prior to didn't really finish the claim, so to speak, of any lawlessness. So no law enumerated, no law broken, and no proof of any law broken. So I think that's where the president will be on it. He may or may not say something about one of our colleagues. We all have to work together, and I think he's aware of that, but we all have to get back together somehow and do the business of the country. And I think he's aware that that is very difficult, but that's our charge. That's what the American people expect us to do. And so hopefully we can keep moving forward, and hopefully we've seen the end of this, because the country's counting on us to do big things.
Congressman, back to Nancy Pelosi. The optics of her ripping up the State of the Union speech still resonates even today. Being at the prayer breakfast this morning as you were, could you help? Did your eyes wander over to Pelosi to kind of capture her every move? Will she clap? Will she stand? What was that like?
Well, obviously she was there, but it is very tense. There's a palpable discord that I think, unfortunately, has become personal between the two, and I think it is going to make governing different and difficult. But I did not focus on the speaker. She was there, and as far as I could tell, respectful, as we all should be at all times. It's not about personal disagreements. We have political disagreements. And this is America. That's okay, but you can't make it personal. And unfortunately, in some respects, I think with the tearing up of the speech on primetime television right behind the president at the State of the Union makes it personal. And like I said, it makes these wounds continue to be reopened and continue to be very raw and very fresh. And that was obvious in the room this morning.
Congressman, real quick, what'd you have for breakfast?
We had some fruit and some bagels, but you know, at the prayer breakfast, I was one of the ones who was fortunate enough to lead one of the songs right at the beginning. So I didn't really count on breakfast at the prayer to have breakfast at the prayer breakfast. You got to remember, there are several thousand people in that room, and it's hard to feed that many people at one time. But it is the prayer breakfast after all.
There's a lot of nerves. All right, Congressman Scott Perry of Pennsylvania, we appreciate your time. Thank you.